Switch the dial, pull up a chair. Luke's got a mic and too much air. From headlines wild to late night bits, he'll say it all, and none of it sticks.
What's up, nerds? Back with another video. The first video of 2026, and it's honestly kind of easy because it is crazy to sit here and say that I am 1 year of not smoking weed on the day, right? And it's just crazy more the quickness that it went by. I really didn't, I mean, the first few months maybe, and I still occasionally think, like, for example, coming up in like less than 3 weeks is going to be Mac Miller's birthday, and it'll be the second birthday of his that I won't be smoking, which does stink a little bit because for 5 years before that, the tradition was to smoke some classic Swisher Sweets, Mac Miller Swisher Sweets, and I've got my whole Mac, merch little homage room, and I've got all my different Mac stuff. So it'd be a tradition to listen to Mac. I mean, I still listen to Mac, but it's listen to Mac, smoke Swisher Sweets while he raps, and talk about getting them and just reliving those times and memories with friends, smoking and listening to Mac and everything like that. It definitely hits a little different being, sober through it, right? Not like it's, anything, right? But there's definitely times like that where I think about, like, man, I could go for a nice Swisher blunt right now. Blunt, quote unquote, if some people don't count it as a blunt, right? I mean, it is kind of like a Swisher, it's its own thing. But there are some occasions where I think about smoking, but it really wasn't a hanging over my head type thing. It really wasn't a like, oh, you could be smoking now, Luke, you could be smoking now, you could be smoking right now instead of doing whatever else. And I definitely drank a little bit more. I wouldn't say much more. I'd say the amount of drinking I did went up because of football games. Eagles, go Birds, get the horns out. Definitely a couple more UFC nights instead of smoking with UFC, drinking with UFC. But it wasn't really like, I'm not like a liquor guy. I put on about an inch and a half on my waist since last year. So not exactly happy that I put on weight like that, right? But I did make significant strength gains in the gym and have made gains overall fitness wise. So I'm not like happy, right, with it. And I don't think it was really like the alcohol so much. I think it was more the 2,300 calories a day and, 5 days of lifting and everything, right? That went along with it, and 2 times leg days a week. But I think what the main aspect of my life that has changed is definitely the short-term memory, not as much the long-term. I still take nappers, some nice nappers during the day. I mean, there's just like, oh baby, on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe not as much Sunday, but there's just sometimes, you wake up at 6 a.m., you grinding shit out, you finish up at 1:30, take a solid 45-minute napper, then wake up, maybe have some coffee, get back to work. So, part of me was like, am I still going to nap if I'm smoking or not smoking, right? And I definitely do, still nap, whatever. I'm old people like naps, whatever. But I'd say definitely the short-term memory, a little bit of long-term, maybe a little bit. although I kind of always had good-ish memory, I guess. I don't know how you take a memory test, like maybe take a memory test in the beginning of the year and then at the end of the year be like, okay, name these 10 words that we gave you at the beginning of the year. But definitely the staying in a conversation, staying present with someone else you're talking to and on whatever topic you're talking to or talking about, that definitely increased. And I would say in general, this maybe wasn't my most productive year, just like being honest. Like, it would be great to sit here and say like, oh, I didn't smoke weed and I was the most productive I've ever been in my life. I mean, I'm sure that's the case for some people, but for me, this was definitely like a top 3 most productive years, like 100%. But it wasn't really that. I mean, it's different for me, right? That's something that a lot of people have told me throughout my life. I'm a very productive stoner. Whatever that means, right, to them. But I'd say that it definitely made getting things done easier. I wasn't, distracted by munchies. I wasn't distracted by, weed. But something important to clarify is that I was doing more technical work now without smoking than I was doing creative work with smoking. And so I think that there's positives and negatives, right? And focusing on the technical work and not smoking definitely was a good combo, right? However, I'm not going to lie, there are definitely times where, I feel a little bit lacking in the creativity, not insane. Like, it's not like, I mean, these are all arbitrary feelings. I mean, there's no numbers for me for this to say, oh, I felt 25% less creative because I wasn't smoking or whatever. Just, like personal stuff, just checking in. Cause a year, man. Wow. I mean, like I knew I could do it. I knew it wasn't that crazy of a deal. I mean, some people it's definitely tougher, and I mean, I was smoking for almost 15 years of my life straight. I smoked 14 years in a row of smoking weed to then just quit cold turkey and then just but I quit smoking cold turkey. I quit like drinking like liquor, like hardcore cold turkey. I've quit video games cold turkey, which I know is, some people are like, what was that last one? Let me tell you. You put in fucking 300 hours of World of Warcraft Classic in 2 months and then tell me that shit's easy to quit cold turkey, all right? But it's just kind of just been like a waiting thing, just like every, few months I'm like, oh shit, that's right, 9 months, 10 months. And especially because, I did it on New Year's, it makes it real easy. It's like, oh, it's September, 9 months, so it's just a little check-in video, easy first video of the year. Tomorrow, I've already got a video topic that I want to talk about that is, it combines a whole bunch of different stuff, but it basically boils down to being the best that you can be. And what would happen if everybody is the best that they can be, because there's a lot of situations that end with, well, that's just the way it is, or that's just, how it works. And I believe that the reason it is like that is because people don't do the best that they can. If everybody just did a little bit, the world would be infinitely better. Or, it would be better by, 150 million adults in America, you know, or like 18 plus people, 200 million 18 plus people. Who knows the number? But I mean, imagine if just half, 150 million people just woke up and said, I'm going to do the best that I can and be the best that I can be. Do the best, even if it means that there's no tangible stuff, even if it makes me like an asshole or an idealist or whatever it is. But so that's going to be tomorrow. But today was a very simple one. And that's it. Check it in. 1 year without smoking weed. Some bitch. We made it, baby. Year 1. Who knows what this year is going to go? I have no idea. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and say like, oh, I'm not going to smoke ever again. I'm not going to smoke for the rest of this year. Who knows? I don't exactly anticipate it happening soon. But hey, 1 year, baby. We did it. All right. Smoke grass, eat ass. Be excellent to each other. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.
Like the vid, leave a word, drop a comment, get absurd. Subscribe if you had some fun. We drop bangers one by one. Check the description down below for all the links you need to know. Thanks for watching, you're the best. Now